Hello friends. In some cases you need to make changes to your company's founding documents. Let's look at what those cases are. The first and most common case is when the director's foreign passport is changed. You came to Montenegro with a certain foreign passport, opened a company, and then when that passport expired, you received a new one at the embassy. Accordingly, it turns out that one passport number is written in the founding documents, but in reality, you have a completely different one. This can lead to problems. Currently, there are issues with banks, as banks may refuse to accept your applications on the grounds that you have such a discrepancy. This could lead, well, again, in theory, it could lead to problems or it might not, but if someone at the MUP notices that there is such a discrepancy, it could cause issues with renewing your residence permit. Accordingly, if you have received a new foreign passport and your old one is no longer valid, you absolutely must update your documents. The second common scenario is a change in the main type of activity. This only applies to operating companies. Non-operating companies don't have to worry about this at all right now because of their inactivity. If we prepare the registration documents, our charters include all types of activities. We simply put the entire classifier in there, except for 20 or 30 types of activities, about 20 or 30 that cannot be included in the charter until the appropriate authority grants permission. But these are types of activities that most of you don't need. Things like education, healthcare, banking, and insurance. These are the larger, more significant types of activities. So a company can engage in a large number of activities at the same time. That is, you can, for example, bake buns and sell pasta, work in tourism, or do anything else you like. But at the same time, there is only one main activity, while there can be many additional ones, just one main activity. It must also be included without fail. So if you declare your main activity as selling buns, then sell buns. But at the same time, you can also sell pasta, rent out cars, rent out apartments, or do something else in addition. So if you declare your main activity as selling buns, but in reality you're not selling buns, even though you are conducting business. Once again, I want to emphasize, this only applies to those who are actually conducting business. Accordingly, you need to change your main activity and indicate something that you are actually doing. This is my advice for companies that are operating. In practice, no one has ever been punished for this inconsistency, but according to the law, your main activity must be accurate, so it's better to comply with the law. Next, changing the company's address. Why is this necessary? First and foremost, the mailing address is important because something might be sent to you at some point. In reality, things are sent very rarely, extremely rarely, and not to everyone. You could, live for many years and never receive anything. In 12 years of running my company, I've received only one letter from the tax office. So in short, it really is very rare. But nevertheless, if you want to be sure you won't miss any important letters, change your company's address to your actual address or to your accountant's address. By default, if again, we are the ones opening the company, we set our mailing address for everyone. But if you happen to leave us and get service somewhere else, it makes sense to update it and put the address where you are actually located. How can we help you? We handle any changes related to your company, so just write to us and we work everything out. Goodbye, everyone.